The air is heavy, thick with the scent of pine needles and damp earth. Sunlight struggles to pierce the dense canopy above. Twisted branches claw at the sky like skeletal fingers. This is Black Ridge Forest, a place of shadows and secrets, a place where the wind whispers tales of the unknown. Locals avoid the forest's depths. They speak of strange occurrences, unexplained noises in the night, a feeling of being watched. And then there's the whistling, a haunting melody that seems to drift on the wind, a melody that sends shivers down your spine. Generations have passed down the stories, whispered warnings around crackling fires, tales of the whistler, a solitary figure said to roam the woods. Some believe it to be the spirit of a lost logger, forever searching for his way out. Others whisper of a vengeful entity, luring unsuspecting souls to their doom. Deep in the heart of Black Ridge Forest, the truth awaits. A mystery shrouded in shadow and sound, the mystery of the whistler. The legend of the whistler is as old as the town itself. A tale passed down through generations. It speaks of a young lumberjack, Caleb, known for his skill and his beautiful whistling. One stormy night, Caleb ventured into the forest. He never returned. Search parties combed the woods. They found no trace of Caleb, just an eerie silence hanging over the forest. Weeks later, the townsfolk started to hear it, a faint whistling echoing through the trees. Caleb's tune. The melody he was known for. Was it Caleb's spirit, lost and searching, or something more sinister? The question lingered. The legend of the whistler was born. A cautionary tale, a reminder of the forest's unforgiving nature. Stories of the whistler are more than just folklore. They're whispered accounts from those who claim to have encountered the unknown. A lone hiker, lost in the woods, spoke of hearing the whistling. It seemed to guide him back to the trailhead. He swore it was the whistler who saved him. A group of teenagers camping deep in the forest told a different tale. They described a shadowy figure moving through the trees. The haunting melody seemed to emanate from the figure itself. They fled in terror, the whistling echoing in their ears. These encounters, though varied, share a common thread, the whistling, a haunting reminder that something lurks within Black Ridge Forest, something ancient and unknown. And the line between folklore and fact blurs in Black Ridge Forest. Local historians point to old logging maps. They mark an area deep within the forest, the Devil's Whistle. The name itself sends shivers down your spine. A place where the compass spins wildly, where even the most experienced woodsmen hesitate to tread. Could there be a scientific explanation for the whistling, unusual wind patterns, strange acoustic properties of the forest? Or is it something more, something tied to the land itself, something ancient and powerful? The more we uncover about Black Ridge Forest, the deeper the mystery becomes. The whistler remains an enigma, a puzzle waiting to be solved. We ventured into Black Ridge Forest determined to find answers. Armed with recording equipment and a healthy dose of skepticism, we hiked deep into the woods. The forest felt different here, darker, the air thick with anticipation. We set up camp near the area marked the Devil's Whistle on the old map. As night fell, the forest came alive with sounds, the rustling of leaves, the distant hoot of an owl. And then we heard it, faint at first, a haunting melody carried on the wind. The whistling grew louder, closer, our hearts pounded in our chests. Was this it? Had we finally found the source of the legend? Following the sound, we pushed deeper into the darkness. The whistling seemed to lead us forward. Then through the trees we saw it, a faint light, flickering like a candle in the wind. We exchanged nervous glances. Could this be the source of the whistling? As we approached cautiously, the light grew brighter. It seemed to emanate from a small clearing ahead. We could feel our hearts pounding in our chests. Adrenaline surged through our veins. What would we find in the clearing? The whistling reached a crescendo, then silence. The sudden quiet was deafening. We held our breath, listening for any sign of movement. The forest held its breath with us. We stepped into the clearing. Our flashlights cut through the darkness, and there in the center stood a figure, tall and slender, bathed in an ethereal light that seemed to emanate from within. It was unlike anything we had ever seen before. The figure turned slowly. Its face was obscured by shadow, but we could feel its gaze upon us, intense, penetrating. We were frozen in place, caught in its unwavering stare. For a moment, time seemed to stand still. The air crackled with an unseen energy. Then the figure raised its hand. A long, bony finger pointed directly at us. The figure opened its mouth as if to speak, but no words came out, just a low, guttural growl that seemed to shake the very ground beneath our feet. Terror gripped us. We stumbled backward, desperate to escape the clearing and the unearthly being that stood before us. As we turned to flee, the light surrounding the figure intensified. It pulsed with an eerie glow, casting long dancing shadows across the forest floor. The whistling began again, louder this time, more insistent. We didn't look back. We ran through the forest, our hearts pounding in our chests. The whistling echoed through the trees, urging us onward. We emerged from the forest, shaken to our core. The events of that night are seared into our memories. The haunting melody, the otherworldly light, the terrifying figure in the clearing. Had we imagined it all, or had we stumbled upon something truly ancient and unknowable? The mystery of the Whistler continues to haunt Blackridge Forest. A chilling reminder that some secrets are best left buried. But the question remains, what was the source of the light? And what did the figure want to tell us? The search for answers goes on.